How's it going? Ryan here. And today I'm going to go over the one trade that I took on SPY. I took a put. Today was a huge green day. My trade was a very small scalp, so pretty minimal, very small amount of profit. Overall, meh, not much to talk about. But we will dive into that in a second. Right now, we're on the daily time frame here looking at SPY. We have some levels. It's a little bit busy in here, so I do apologize for that. Main levels that we are concerned with, though, is this gap. So we have the bottom of the gap at 436-ish. We have the top of the gap around 438.6 or so, 0.8, somewhere in there. We have this level right here, which is 434. And then we have 432.5, 0.6, somewhere in there. This is a level off the weekly time frame, kind of this neckline, this pattern here. We have those are mostly the more relevant levels, few from the prior day trading session, so we can get into those. We also have the trend line from the top and the bottom on the daily or the weekly, one of those higher time frames. That's what we're watching. We were looking pretty bullish. We bounced. We broke below this major trend line. We recovered above it, maintained above it, opened below it, found support down here, this 420 level, rallied all the way up, and we've been pretty green since. So making our way up and looking to close that gap potentially that we have on that daily time frame. We'll look at just a few things here on a 1 hour chart, just so you see some other levels that we have relevant. We have this 432 flat. You can see how that's kind of played out. Prices reacted to that level pretty well. We also have that 432.6. Similar thing. It's been the highest some days. Also some pre-market price action in those areas as well. We have the high of yesterday in the green here. So we have the high of yesterday's trading session, the low of yesterday's trading session, and then we have the high of the pre-market. Those are the levels we were watching. Game plan was, if we broke below 430, I was expecting a pullback into 430, or excuse me, if we broke 432, I was expecting a pullback to 430. Reason being, if you look at this structure that we have here, after we've broken this little recent downtrend, put in a bottom, made a high, made a higher low. I suppose here we came down and tested this low, but made a higher high, came down, made a higher low, made a higher high. I expected us to come down and test this 430 level and continue our way up. We did not. We rallied. We were looking really strong right off the open. So game plan was initially, if we failed to hold 432, look for opportunity to short down to 430. That never happened. To the upside, we were also looking at, if we maintained a price above 432.8, that we could see us move up to 434, which we did. I didn't get in on that, unfortunately. And then if we got above 434, we could see 436, which we did. Once again, I didn't take calls, so no part of this. And then we were looking, if we broke above 436-ish, we'll call it, we were looking to fill that gap, and we did not. And I'm going to back up to the daily time frame so we can look at this level. We can look at where it topped out today and try to understand why price action acted as the way it did. So we did not fill that gap. We still have a gap to fill. If you look on the daily time frame, we'll look at that gap, and then we'll also look at the level that we topped out today. So here's that gap. Still exists, except now it's more from about this point, right in there. And if I extend that to the left, you're going to see exactly here. I don't want to clear my whole chart, but you can see if we extend this to the left, big level here as we gapped up, came down, found support multiple days, found resistance on multiple days in these areas, and here, I suppose. So this was a level right at 437, right around a whole number. And it was also clearly a level that we had some price action on the daily time frame. So had I charted that, had I had that, on the watch list, that ended up pretty much being the high a day. I was not trading once we got to that point. But yeah, you can see how that daily level, perfect top right there. So it's just one thing to look at. I always like to look back, and if we have some giant move off area or level that I haven't charted, something that I wasn't watching, I always try to dial it back, go back to a 4-hour, 1-hour, daily, weekly time frame, and try to understand why that level played such a pivotal role that it did. So that's a pretty good example of that. The high of the day, you go back, you find that level on the daily time frame, it starts to make sense. You can piece that together. With that being said, let's look at today. I trade normally with a 5-minute and a 2-minute chart. I have a 1-hour chart that I use to switch around higher time frames. So that could be 1 hour, 4 hour daily, just to keep myself familiar with where we are on the bigger scheme of things. But how I enter trades is levels off those higher time frames. I watch for confirmation on a 5-minute, which would mean a close or a rejection, above or at one of those key levels. So failing to break above a key resistance, failing to close below a key support, or breaking and retesting one of those levels. I look for that on the 5-minute. For a 5-minute candle close to confirm it, but I also look for the 2-minute chart as an entry. That being said, we kind of chopped around in the morning. We broke above pre-market high, immediately saw 430 or 434, yes. We held that level and we moved up just as I kind of was expecting. I didn't take any part of this though. I suppose watching us hold 432.6, this bottom level, holding that level, I could see potentially the move up, taking calls once we showed that we were holding above this key level. But we did have yesterday's high a day and that pre-market high right here, so I didn't really feel like taking calls in this tight range. Once we broke out though, we got above 434. This was a trade that I was looking at and I didn't take it, and obviously I wish I did in hindsight 2020. But the reason being is we closed right at this level. Had we closed above it and tested this, I think I would have felt more comfortable, but we closed right at that level. We pushed up, pushed down, closed right at it. Next candle kind of opened right at it, and then tested it and closed above. That could have validated my entry thesis in terms of getting above and testing and closing on a higher time, or not a higher, but a 5-minute time frame, and looking for an entry on a 2-minute time frame. And I was watching this play out live, and I did not take this trade, but I really wish I did. If we look here, you can see we got above this level and we pretty much just bull flagged. We got above this level, we held that level, and we flagged in here, and then we broke out. So normally I don't take breakout trades. It's easier to look at hindsight at this one. Obviously it worked out, but I really kind of wish I took it, kind of kicking myself, as we just kind of chugged along up towards that second level that I had up around 435.8. So that would have been an incredible move. Off this push up here, 435 strike, same day expiration calls. From here, from this breakout to this move up here, before we even hit 435, was a 50% return. So that's crazy. That's 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes, if you got in. So crazy little risk to reward there. I did not take that trade, but I was watching us kind of flag and hold the support. I called it out and I didn't take it. That would have been a much better trade than what I did take, and we will jump into that in a second. The trade that I did take was a break and retest of the support. So you can see we had this kind of line that we were trending along, bouncing, finding support. We broke below it. I took a put on this retest here once we closed below it, and then we also closed below it on the 5-minute. So I talk about getting confirmation on the 5-minute and entering on the 2-minute. Here's my confirmation on the 5-minute. We got that candle closed below that support. I entered on the 2-minute here as we came up and tested it. So wrote it down to 435. Not much of a trade, about 20 cents or so. It's pretty minimal. I made pretty negligible profit. Like it's not even anything to talk about. I took profit right where I should have though, because I didn't want to hold shorts on a day like this. We were showing incredible strength. We hadn't had a pullback, which made me think that maybe this break of support would offer us a pullback, but I didn't feel strongly that we were going to sell off here. This wasn't we didn't quite get to this level that I was watching. There's no reason for us to have a massive sell off here. I just took a put. This was towards the end of the day. You can see it was around 8:45. That's normally when I get off. So I think I just took a tiny little scalp just to take a trade for the day. Not the best practice. But I knew what I was in for. I mean, I didn't hold it more than 2 minutes. I got in and sold as soon as we hit that whole number 435. Also, you can see that we just had this kind of area in here that we had failed to close above, broke above, retested, and as we were coming down and falling into that area, I didn't want to hold puts into this. I knew that what I was doing was counter to the trend. We were showing a lot of strength. I wasn't going to hold puts. So super small scalp. That's what I took as a winner. It's nothing to talk about though. I missed a lot of plays. I missed a lot of plays to the upside. Bull flag breaks everywhere. Yeah, so I think just being more decisive, really trying to hone in on what my strategy is, what qualifies for, what's the justification for my trades. I haven't traded in a few days. Today is the first day back in a while, so maybe I was a little hesitant, but overall, can't be mad on a day where you make a little bit of profit, even if it's small. However, there was a lot more to be had. Overall, just a learning opportunity. What I did learn though, trust your key levels, trust your system. We had close and hold above on the 5 minute. We had a little bull flag break on the 2 minute. That's a beautiful entry for me. The risk could have been pretty small in terms of setting a stop if we broke below this key level. Like I said, hindsight 2020, really easy to look at it once it's already worked, but just something to keep in mind for myself. Other than that, if you are going to go opposite of the trend as I did today, taking a put on this strong day, don't try to hold it for 20 minutes, even if you got in at the very top and held. I mean, it did sell off, so that would work. But you can see kind of like, look at this whole chop. How long was that from the high of the day at 10, 12 to when we finally kind of sold and broke below that level at 11:02, almost an hour. If you're holding same day expiration, yes, this would help you. But if you're holding for an hour, especially in the second half of the day, what I'm trying to say is go with the trend. The trend is your friend. I traded opposite of it. It was kind of minimal. Taking calls here, looking for an entry to take calls. Like, instead of taking puts here, taking calls when we tested this area, waiting for a pullback, taking calls would have resulted in a much better move for me. So that's another lesson I guess I could take. Trade with the trend, look for a good opportunity. Yeah, not really much to be stoked on for that trade. It is what it is. It was a small scalp. That being said though, that's all I have for you. I appreciate you watching. Thank you if you've tuned in this long. I do appreciate it. I trade live every Monday through Friday. If you feel so inclined, if you want to stop by, say what's up, hang out with a small community of traders who trade live, feel free to do so. I also have a free Discord. It's a small community of people looking to learn and share ideas with trading. We share our wins, we share our losses, we hop in a trade chat and discuss what we're seeing in the markets. People share trade ideas. So it's a really cool, helpful community. If that's something that you're interested in, send me a message or comment on this video saying that you'd like an invite and I'll send you one. I can't just have it open because we get started to get some scammers. But if you would like to join, send me a message or send me a comment on this video and I'll try to get you in there. That's all I have for you. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Bye.